Have you or someone you know been affected by mental health or substance use disorder? Well, you are not alone. Welcome to the podcast, Riverfront Talks, Substance Matters. I am Tiffany Moore, the coordinator for the Beaufort County 360 Behavioral Health Task Force. We're going to sit down and have some in-depth conversations with individuals who may have struggled themselves with mental health or substance use disorder, or perhaps know someone who has struggled. Either way, we're going to have some inspiration, motivation, and maybe even some tear jerkers. Welcome to the podcast, Riverfront Talks, Substance Matters. Welcome back to Riverfront Talks, Substance Matters. I'm your host, Tiffany Moore, and we are downtown Washington at the beautiful Water Street Cafe. Thank you for allowing us to host. Stop by, get you some drinks and some snacks and some brunch. I have a special guest here today. Her name is Miss Betty Gatlin. Miss Betty, you want to look into the camera and tell the people hello?
Hello. Nice to be here with you guys today.
Miss Gatlin is going to walk us through her experience as a victim of domestic violence. So we're going to go ahead and jump into her story. Miss Betty, you want to give us just a little bit of background information about where you're from, and we'll go from there.
Well, I'm from a small town in North Carolina, and a grateful mother of 9 children and a grateful grandmother of 16. I married my husband in June 28th in 93, and the abuse started um, at that moment. Like it was there prior to that, but it wasn't to the extent. So the night of our marriage, he didn't come home. He spent the night with someone else. It just spiraled downhill from there. Everything you could imagine, began to come out into the open.
So you said on your wedding night,
Yeah.
your husband basically stepped out with someone else and didn't spend the night with you.
That's correct.
And you say also kind of all in that same time period, a lot of things that you didn't know beforehand about your soon-to-be husband came to the light. Give me a little bit of what you mean by that.
So, when we was dating, we dated for maybe a year and a half before we got married. He wasn't the perfect person. He did have some signs and red flags, which I didn't know anything about because he was, the first time I was in a relationship like that. So I was really young. I was around the age of 19 when I first started dating him. We ended up getting married. I was about 21 and he was 43, something like that. So 44, something of that nature. And a lot of things I didn't understand about life. I lived a very sheltered life. So basically, whatever he said, he always had the right thing to say. He was born and raised in New York. Right? He was very uh, smart. He was very, very cunning, very persuasive. He could tell me anything and be very convincing. So, but the day we got married, when he didn't come home, things just got real. A lot of things that was more than likely going on the whole time just came all out in the open. There was no more hiding. There was no more sneaking around. Whatever he was doing, he was just throwing it out in the open. Like it was a small town. Everybody knew.
So when he didn't come home that first night, what did you feel about that?
I was very angry. Um, I didn't know he wasn't coming home until the lady actually called the house. And back then, we had house phones. And she said, just want to let you know, I don't care about you getting married. Um, I'm still going to be with him. She didn't say it that nicely, but I'm cleaning it up for this section, this segment. So that he's not coming home, and I'm going to continue to be with him. And I just got furious. I got angry, So I just.
So to be clear, you didn't have an open marriage. You didn't enter this expecting to have an open
No,
marriage.
ma'am. I had no idea. I thought this was going to be the best thing that ever happened in my life. In my mind, he was the best provider. Gave me anything I wanted. I mean, he was He would cook. He would bring me food in bed, flowers, chocolate. It was just the best life. And then beforehand, and then it just went south. So after she hung up the phone, I just got very furious. I began to boil some water to have it ready when he come home, and went and got his gun out of the drawer. So when I poured the boiling water on him, if he decided to jump at me, I was going to shoot him. And then the phone rang. It was my pastor. He said, "Daughter, put the gun back in the drawer and pour the water in the sink." So I know it had to be God, because how else he would have known? There was nobody there with me. I didn't know where my children were.
So it didn't make you want to leave at this point, because again, this is still very early on.
Yeah.
So you didn't want to leave. You wanted to get back at it. You wanted to harm him.
I was just angry. Like that's 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 something that was totally unexpected. I'm thinking, we already have all this wine, all these candles. We're gonna celebrate our wedding, and you leave and don't come back. That just took a whole portion of my life, like gone.
So thanks to your pastor, you did not act
I did
on
not.
your instincts.
I did not.
You continued to stay with this man that had already started out cheating on you. So let's move a little bit further into the marriage. After this initial incident, how did things progress from there? Were they fixed? Was this a one-time freak event?
Well, I thought this was gonna be, you know, he he acted as if that would never happen again, and he was drunk. He fell asleep. He don't even know how he got there. She just exaggerating. She's lying. Nothing happened. Of course, that was a lie, because that same woman I've seen in my home. I've came home from church. That same woman has been in my home. After I had my uh, younger son, like I called and let him know, and she answered the phone. Like this is not made up. He was being with that woman. Like,
How would he react when you'd confront him about it?
he would always stay calm and told me that it's normal for me to feel that way because I was so young. And he was the perfect psychologist. He always had the right answer. Everyone else was wrong, and he was right. He would never do anything of that nature. But then it went south. He just stopped, like just turned the page. Okay, I'm not telling any more stories. This is what's going on. Such is coming here. You're gonna have to move out the room. You're gonna go down and sleep with the children. And I'm just looking like it was just. I just don't know how I felt then. I still don't know how I feel now.
So he was emotionally manipulative.
Very, very, very. I could be riding down the street, driving. He on the passenger side, my children in the back, and one of his women just waved, get in front of the car, waved the car down. I'm thinking the lady's having an emergency. I didn't know it was one of his women, to be honest. She just gets in his lap. And while I'm driving, and I'm looking, okay, I was like, okay, what's going on? So he said to just drop us off to the house, and you go to my sister's house with the children. So that's what I did. And his sister was talking to me. She was like, "Betty, I'm really sorry. You know, she said, I'm gonna have to want me to go with you to talk to him." I was like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think. Some strange things happened that it's just unbelievable.
So, how long were you married to this man?
31 years.
So, in the 31 years, you had to deal with emotional abuse, basically.
Yes, and
Out.
physical abuse.
So, when did he become physically abusive?
He was physically abusive The second day, the next day, after he spent the night with one of his females. And, but that was for 11 years.
In your mind, what made him become physically abusive after he returned home from a cheating incident?
I feel like it's because guilt, if that makes sense. Or, you know, a lot of times when they're exposed, they get angry. And I've done, you know, trying to figure it out. What if you're doing all this? Why would you want to hurt me? What sense does that make? I'm not bothering you. I'm still keeping the house clean. I'm still taking care of the children. I'm still making sure your food is done when you get home from work. I'm still, doing what I'm supposed to do. Like, do you have to hit me?
Was this a rare occurrence where he would physically attack you, or was this common?
Um,
And was it always following his episodes of cheating?
he would he would just be very angry a lot. I'm not just talking angry. I'm talking about having to have rescue come and get me. I'm talking about having to have maybe arm in a sling, broken leg, broken hip, broken neck, broken spine, broken jaw, broken nose, two black eyes. Like my god sister had to come and get me because I couldn't even drive myself at several occasions because I couldn't see to take me to the emergency room. It was real. It was all the time. It was all the time, every single day. Out of 11 years, there was 2 days that he did not put his hands on me. And I remember those 2 days. The first day was the day that he cleared his throat and he spit on me. He peed on me and he defecated on me. The second day that I remember out of those 11 years that he did not put his hands on me was that night I came out of the shower and he sprayed my entire body while I was naked with some industrial disinfectant spray that he brought home from the hospital where he worked. Those was the only 2 days that he did not physically put his hand on me. It was still abuse. It was still abuse, even though he didn't use his hands.
So did his abuse seem to escalate? Because
It did. It did.
was it mainly with his hands and things at first, and then he started spraying you and things like that?
He would just he my whole my I was using insulin because I had diabetes. He injected 100 units of my own insulin between my toes, and my sugar dropped. I crawled to the kitchen. Long story short, try to get some sugar, some milk, whatever I could get. Dial 911. Next thing I know, I woke up in the bed. He was on the phone telling somebody that he gonna have to go ahead and call the people to come and get her. Had to make sure the kids is off to school first. I heard the whole conversation, and I was afraid to move. If I move, he gonna know I'm alive.
So you think he intended to kill you during this?
I do. At this instant, 100 units of insulin, he intended to kill me. There was another occasion where he put some rat poison in my food, and he told me. And I was in the hospital for like 2 weeks. I was near death, throwing up blood for 2 weeks. I was very sick.
Was your family aware that you were experiencing this abuse?
They was aware of some, but a lot of things they didn't know. They didn't know the intents of it. They didn't know the level of it. They knew it was pretty bad. They saw me. They had to allow me to move in with them on different occasions. The police would come. They would always make me and the children leave. Sometimes they would arrest my husband, but he would always be home before me and the kids would get in the police car, and they would take us either to a shelter, or they would take us to my pastor house, or they would take us to my sister house. But they really didn't do anything to him. He was always the good guy.
So your family still saw him as a good guy, even though
No, not my family. The police.
the police.
Yeah.
Your family,
Mhm.
did they try to intervene and try to
They did
have a sit down with you and convince you to leave?
all the time. They would always say, Betty, you can't go back. But, you know, when you have children, that many children that I had, and when you don't have, I didn't have education, didn't have a job, didn't have any money, I felt like at least he was a provider. I felt like that was the only chance that my children would have. You know, I couldn't provide for them. I couldn't take care of them. So I left. I ended up leaving my husband 13 times before I left for good. 13 times. And on that 13th time, that was in September 2nd, 2002, that I left for good.
So the reason you stayed, the reason you kept going back before this is you relied on him to be the provider for you and your kids. How many children did you have?
With my husband, it was four, but I had a daughter before I met my husband, and we adopted my sister's four children.
And all of them were there and experienced the same type of abuse?
Most of the time. The adopted ones wasn't always there. Even though they was adopted, they was still with their mom. A good portion of it. It was a long story situation going on with her.
Did you try to work? Did you try to go to school or do anything that would kind of set you up to be able to leave a situation, not need to rely on him?
I tried to go back to school, but every day I come from school, he met me at the door. I had to take off my clothes. He had to look at my underwear with a flashlight. I wasn't allowed to take a bath before school. I couldn't take a bath till I get home. I tried, so that didn't last very long because I was tired of getting beat every single time I come home. And no matter what I did, I was going to get a beating that day, whether it was in the morning or at night or when you come home from work. It was going to happen.
Did he, just to clarify, this whole situation with you coming back, having to do certain things, not being able to do certain things before you left the house, did he expect you cheating?
I really don't know what that meant. I don't believe he thought I was cheating. I just felt that he just wanted me cruel. What lady don't want to take a shower and smell pretty? So I think that was part of the mental abuse. And back then I wore makeup. I wear like eye makeup and lips makeup now, but back then I was heavy on makeup. And so when I did try to work, it was the same thing. My guy I was working with, car broke down, and it was late getting home. I think that was one of the worst beatings because he didn't want to hear that, but his car really did break down.
How many times were you hospitalized behind these beatings?
I would have to look at my records because numerous of times, years. I was just there the other day in the nursing department, and one of the nurses that used to help put me back together saw me and remembered me.
So you went so frequently that they
Yeah.
got used to you coming in. They
Yeah.
started to know you.
They did. The doctors was very kind to me. This particular doctor told me, he said, Miss Gatlin, next time you come in here, I'm pressing charges. He said, because one day you're going to come in and I'm not going to be able to put you back together. And he did just that. That time he did spend, they told me that he had to stay in jail for 72 hours. But he was out the next day. I'm like, even the jail people can't tell time. Like, just not 72 hours, he was just there. Came home the next day, so.
Was that the only time he was arrested?
Maybe two or three times, but he never made it to the jail. That was the first time he made, and only time he made it to the jail.
Something we commonly hear from victims of domestic violence is that oftentimes they make excuses of what happened to them, how they got the bruises, the scars, and things like that. Did you find yourself doing that at any point in time?
Well, I wore a lot of sunglasses, and I wore a lot of makeup. Some of the makeup couldn't cover, your busted lips and black eyes, and I would be inside of places, in church with glasses on. They knew. They knew. A lot of them knew my struggle, and they knew they didn't have to ask what happened. If they saw me with a shoulder brace on, neck brace on, back brace on, sling on my leg, or they already knew what happened.
So you were having broken body parts,
Yes, ma'am.
like severe injuries, not just
Yes.
the bruises,
yeah.
the busted lips, the nose. It got a lot deeper than that.
Yes, ma'am. He told me that he was gonna cripple me for life, and I was actually in a wheelchair for 2 years and 11 months. So, a lot of people thought it was from a horrible wreck that I had in 1995. So, whenever things were happening, they thought I was just having some surgeries, from that wreck, and I never told them any different. I just let it ride.
Your kids, did they have questions or any concerns when you were going through this?
They did. They're all grown now, and they are having issues.
They remember?
They do. They do. Some things they cannot remember, but they remember a lot. They remember not wanting to be there. I remember them crying, begging me, Mom, can we please go home? Mom, I don't want to stay here with Dad. Mama, he's mean. Can we just go home? And they were calling the shelter their home. That's how much we stayed at shelter. They called the safe house their home.
So you were frequently leaving and having to go to these safe houses
Yes.
and shelters.
And they wanted to go home. They didn't want to be with their dad. They didn't. They was babies. They could talk and walk, but they were still so young, and all they knew was their dad was mean, and they wanted to go home. And that's really big for a mom to have to hear their children say that's a lot. So it was a lot. So no, I have not gotten over it. If there's a question, no, I have not. I have came a long ways. It's a daily thing that I have to do that to stay recovered, to stay free.
Let me ask you, so, because you're going a little bit ahead, but I'm going to go
Okay.
ahead and go there with you. So, you said you left how many times before you finally left for good?
13 times. The 13th time was the last time.
And what made you leave for good that time?
Our baby daughter was 5 months old, and my neighbor had told him that I took the car and went to New Bern to visit my family, and I did. And I didn't see anything wrong with it, but he just came home and started screaming, yelling, and the baby was sleeping, so she woke up. So I picked her up, and he just snatched her, and I just lost my breath. And
How old was the baby?
she was 5 months, and we were standing in the front near the bedroom door, and we also had a parents retreat on the other side, which we used for her nursery. So he threw her all the way across the master bedroom into the parents retreat, and she landed in the crib. And she died, like she was out. She stopped breathing. She was just lifeless. And she just all of a sudden woke up. She just laughed. Oh my God, she was laughing hysterically. I just grabbed her and grabbed my keys, ran out the house, and we went to the hospital. And they were like, well, she looks fine to me. Don't look like anything wrong with her. I knew right then that I couldn't go back. So
So where'd you go from there?
I ended up going to my sister's house from there, and I think my brother from New Bern came to get me, and he took me to a safe house in New Bern. So, but it was horrible. They called the police, and the police came over. He's like, "Well, she looks fine to me. I don't see any bruises." I was like, "Are you aware that my daughter stopped breathing for some time? Like she was just laying there lifeless?" no movement, no breathing, no nothing. Well, she's good now. So I knew right then I just couldn't go back. Like there was no help. There was no outside help from the officials. From it was just horrible.
And
So,
you stayed at the safe house.
ooh,
Did he call you? Did he contact you?
but this particular safe, usually the ones he would always find us. We went to safe houses, Raleigh, New Bern, Washington, uh, places I can't even remember. And he would always find us. But this particular place he never found. So from there, I mean, he came around us again, but it was a long time. You know, there were the people in this county was helped us get a place to live. They helped me get back into school. You know, the things just started changing. And when I say it was rough, it was rough.
I am very, very sorry that this happened to you and your kids because they experienced it right along with you.
Mm-hmm.
But I always try to flip it and turn a negative positive. And there are a lot of women out here who are in domestic violence situations right now and they don't know what to do and they're going through, that I get abused, I leave, but I go back.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to be able to be an inspiration to these ladies to let them know that there is help and there's a bright light on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how long it has been since you've been separated or divorced from your husband and where you are now.
Well, actually, I never divorced him. Like I said, I left on September 2nd, 2002, and he departed us this earth on November 22nd of 2024. And right now, the light is so much brighter. I am so sorry that my husband got sick. I am so sorry. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional.
It's okay.
I'm so sorry because everything that happens for a reason. I didn't leave him because I hated him, although I had every reason to hate him. I didn't hate my husband. I left him because I did not want my children to die, and I did not want to die. So if anyone that is going through this,
look at the camera and tell them.
please do not wait 11 years. If you see the signs, if you're not sure if it's a sign, please get help. There are tons of resources now that was not available to me. There were people in position that had the power to help me, did not help me. I'm sorry. I'm not angry at those people, but I took what I had left in me, and I'm here today. I can explain why I'm here. I can explain. There's stories that I will tell, but you're going to have to pay for it when I finish my books. So go get yourself, not just for the women, for the men that's being abused. Get yourself back. Show up for you. Fight for you. If you wake up, that means you are supposed to be here. Do not give up. Go back. I went back 2022 and restarted my dream of getting an education. I graduated May 8th of 2025 of this year. ECU, for some reason, don't know me. They don't know what they did, but they accept me into their college. I'm already off to a great start. I am not going to quit until I get my doctor's in psychology. Why I choose psychology? Because I need help. Other people need help. I'm in this field because of the experience that I had. Am I sorry I went through this? Yes, I am. But at the same time, there is light. There is hope. If you are alive, there is hope. you cannot make someone love you. You cannot make them want you. You cannot make them treat you the way you want to be treated. Get out. Do not stay. Leave. Do not let it be 11 years. My God. Do not.
Well, thank you so much, Betty, for sharing your experience with us. Again, we are very sorry that you had to go through this, but I think it made you into a better person, and hopefully your story will inspire somebody else. This is Riverfront Talks, y'all. See you later. Thank you all for joining us for this episode of Riverfront Talks Substance Matters. If you are from the Beaufort County area and know someone who is suffering from mental health and substance use disorder and may be looking for resources, my information is below in the description. We also would like your feedback to gather input about today's episode. Please also complete the short survey listed in the description. A special thank you to our sponsors, ECU Health Beaufort Hospital and KB Reynolds Charitable Trust. Like, share, and subscribe. See you later.